I know plenty of farmers have had accidents, most of them with machines. A farmer depends on his tractor, but if you're not careful with it, you could end up having to sell up and clear out.
Use the lamb. $5.50 or $5 short.
The lambs have got to be worth
$5
that.
per 'em. Come on, they've got to be worth that. $5 a cow. Yep, 20. 5.20. 5.20. 5.20 of it. It doesn't take any thinking about. 40. 5.40. 5.20.
I worked this place for 30 odd years. I wouldn't be selling up now if it wasn't for me back. But an accident stopped me working. Farming's a great life, but I reckon it's about the most accident-prone job you can have.
On that tractor there ought to be worth 2,000. Got a cab on it, the whole lot, but who's got 1,500 to start me?
I've been driving tractors for 37 years without an accident.
15, 13. Well, I bid 700, I bid 7, I bid 7, I bid 8, bid 8, bid 9, I bid 1,000.
See if it happens again, she can go. No tractor's worth it.
11 I'm up at 1,100 now, bid 11, bid 11. I bid 1,100, 12, 12, 12.
I think I'm very lucky that I never lost my arm or lost my life in this accident. As a bloke in the district 12 months ago, unfortunately he got caught in much similar situation, and he had his arm ripped out, and before he got to hospital he was dead.
Goes around a bit 1,300 now. Look at tractor in beautiful order there, Fords and Super Major, 2 new clutch plates to go with it, a cab on it.
Took me years to collect this stuff. It's not worth much, but it'll sell. These fellas will see to that. Not sure about the land though. They tell me the market's really bad. If I don't find a buyer, I suppose the bush and the blackberries will take over. It's going to be a big change to make, and all because of a stupid mistake. There's so many ways a man can hurt himself on a farm. I know plenty of blokes have had accidents because they just weren't thinking.
I was turning the gate valves on, and I've been doing it for some two years prior to that, and all of a sudden the machine was going around, my sleeve and my jumper and shirt got caught in this bolt, which was about that long, through the shaft, and it took me around underneath the shaft and twisted around onto my arm. The bolt, being so long, was digging in the back of my hand as it went around. The shirt sleeve was getting tighter and tighter on my arm, and all I could think of was how do I turn this thing off, and I couldn't reach to turn this, the lever off, which is under the seat. And it was only luck happened that the sleeve of my shirt and jumper pulled out from the top, which enabled me to free myself from the shaft. But I was in a pretty bad state with the bolt cutting in the back of my hand and my shirt twisting my arm up, which meant that I was in a fair bit of pain.
A lot of farmers escape with their lives, but only just.
I was picking up rocks on our property and putting them into bags and then loading them onto a carryall. I was backing the tractor and carryall up to a old disused water hole and throwing them into this hole. I was doing a very stupid thing. I was backing straight up to the hole and then stopping and throwing them in instead of coming side on. Got a bit too close to the hole and consequently the carryall wasn't over firm ground. And I tried to pull out of the position I was in when the tractor reared up, just somersaulted over into the hole. It fell about 15 feet and I somersaulted with it and landed on my hands and knees, and the roll bar of the tractor landed on both my legs. I guess if that roll bar hadn't have been there, I'd have been dead. Possibly if I'd had a seat belt on, I'd been just hanging there suspended and been unharmed.
It's hard to guess how many more are never recorded.
I got a phone call at 11 p.m. to say a chap at Bothwell wanted his baler repaired. The only way I could fit it in, I told him I'd be at his property at 4 a.m. the following morning. I went to his property, repaired his machine and returned to repair the baler. I found build-up of hay on the press roller. I cut the hay away off the roller. I seen some hay still on the belt. I made a dive into the machine with a hand. My arm was caught in the machine. I was hollered to the operator to pull the machine out of gear. I then hollered to him to come and help me get it out. And as it came out, I thought, God, what have I done? All I could see was bone and sinew and blood, and all the flesh was all up onto the end of my fingers. You could see all the bone in the back of my hand. The thumb was hanging off to the side, and the hand was skewed right out to the side. It was one complete mess. I thought that was it. That's the finish.
Often as bystanders or maybe kids that get hurt.
Well, we was finished our dinner and we was a mob of cattle come into the paddock, and I was just driving up to the paddock with a disc in the ground, and we kept stopping with the tractor to rouse the cows along. As one kept jacking us up, and Anthony must have jumped off the back of the tractor. Well, I looked round and he was stood up in the paddock and he was going around in circles. And I jumped off the tractor and ran back to him and covered his head up in my hand. Well, he had a cut around his head right from there, right round the back of his head, open right up. The bone was cut through there, and he had all his arms busted. Both arms were busted, one finger off here. Nicholas was 5 and ran home to his mother about a mile to get her to bring the car down. And we took him into hospital. Yeah, he was in hospital for a month, and he had his arms in plaster, and his head was sewn up, and then he had to go back later and have a plate put in it.
A tractor's a must, but it's deadly if you get careless.
Righto, where you go on the drill? Started there, what's it worth? On that drill, start me there, away we go. Started there, what's it worth? On the drill there, anyone got $500 for it? 5, 4. I'll bid $200 now on the drill. We are. I'll bid $200 now. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 250, 60, 260, 80, 300, 300. I'll bid 300, 20, 320, 40, 340, 340, 60, 360, 360, 80, 400, 400. I'll bid 400. Yep. I'll bid $400. What? EAG, 400. Righto, now there we go on the tractor. We'll give her a whirl before we get going.
I was doing a bit of harrowing. A piece of wood flew up, threw it out of gear, and I put the axle, as I thought, into neutral. Apparently it just slipped through into low ratio, and as I pulled the piece of wood out, it just grabbed me. Yeah, the tractor took off and ran over my leg. Then I had to think about getting away from the harrows. The harrows just tipped me boot as I dragged myself away. The tractor circled me a couple of times. I thought it was going to come back over me. By that time, the old chap and his daughter was there. I was a bit worried him getting on the tractor in case he might have got run over. He got on and stopped the tractor. Then they rang for the ambulance.
When I was splitting fence posts, decided to bring him back on the tractor, bring him home that night to lay him out along the fence line. Because it started off to be a good idea, didn't turn out too good, but it started laying the post out, get off the trailer with the tractor just in crawl gear. And it was working well for a while. We jumped back on it to get across the bit of a drain. Well, I must have kicked out again and I jumped off. And went back to the trailer to continue throwing a few more out. And noticed she was taking off. Raced around the side of here to try to jump back on it to stop it. Threw my foot up on the running board, and next thing I knew, a couple of hops and I was on the ground. After I finished up under the wheel, somehow I finished up underneath the trailer and got tumbled around underneath the trailer with the fence post on it. It's probably the worst part of it. And then I just sort of came out the back of it, and that was it for a while. and the tractor just sort of took off down the paddock. I got myself up to my lee, up to my sitting up position, and tried to sing out and couldn't because my chest was aching a bit. Then I realised I couldn't make anyone hear me while the tractor was still ticking over down the paddock. I stood up for a while, and as soon as my ankle went over a little bit, I'd just go down again. I had no control over my legs whatsoever. I remember falling over 2 or 3 times trying to get down to the paddock, and I sort of got down to the tractor, and I was bleeding a bit from the nose. Wasn't really conscious of what had happened, I don't think. I just sat in the wheel and I got the tractor, switched her off from the corner there, just sat in the wheel and yelled as loud as I possibly could. Cut my leg and past her, 6 weeks. The shoulder blade was broken, which cut the nerves in the shoulder, and the fingers just refused to go at the moment. That was, really 5 months ago now.
Yes, whilst slashing on some fairly steep country, I end up driving the tractor over a rather steep embankment, which resulted in the machine flying through the air upside down for a couple of metres and landing directly upside down on its safety frame. The fact that the machine had a DLI-approved safety frame and was fitted with seat belts, which I was wearing at the time, meant the difference between me being here today and not. As I went over, I, being firmly strapped in, simply stayed with the machine. First thoughts afterwards, I remember, were appreciating the fact that the sky was the wrong way round, reaching out behind me, turning off the diesel engine, and simply unclipping and getting out, completely unscratched.
It's good to have an extra hand, but when you work on your own a lot, you take shortcuts, and that means risks. And sooner or later you find yourself forgetting that some of the things you do every day are dangerous. Even if you don't get killed or maimed, you could get hurt bad enough to have to give up a good life, leave the land and join the queue looking for light work.
We in Rural Youth promote an awareness of rural safety, and we totally agree with that all tractors should be fitted with safety equipment such as rollover protective frames. I enjoy living and working on a farm, but being in agriculture today, it poses a lot of health problems. That's why I appreciate the protection of modern machinery such as this, with good rollover protection and soundproofing of the sedan-type body for the protection of the ears.
Well, I've driven tractors and farm machinery for the last 30 years, and these days I don't like hotel rooms or parties. I can't distinguish the conversation from the general noise, and I believe it's all caused by high noise level machinery.
I'm at 1,300 now. 14. I'm at 14. I'll take a half anyway you like. And I'm at 1,400. 1,400 got.
I was under tremendous pressure, and I wasn't really thinking of the job I was doing here. I was thinking of what I had to do for the rest of the day.
Farming is a good life, but I reckon it's about the most accident-prone job you can have. I never thought the day'd come when I'd be forced to sell.